What's up, everyone? It's your boy Radd 89 here, bringing you another video. And today we're going to be doing a review today, talking about a recent pickup I just got. Yes, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, starring Michelle Yeoh. So we're going to talk about this film, positives, negatives, my rating. Then I'm going to send you all home. This is quite the ride for sure, and you have to be down to digesting some very dense content if you want to check this out. So stay tuned to the review. Let's get into this. Roll it. So Everything Everywhere All at Once is a new A24 film starring Michelle Yeoh. It's directed by the team of the Daniels. That's what they call themselves. And this is an interesting film where Michelle Yeoh plays a Chinese immigrant who's not really living her best life. She's kind of working at a laundromat, or owns a laundromat with her husband. Her dad lives with her. She's not having the best relationship like with her daughter at all. So it's kind of like she's just living kind of a mediocre life. It's almost like a midlife crisis going for her. She doesn't really know what to do. And then unbeknownst to her, she finds out that she is very important in this universe and very important in multiple other universes as well. And in this film, she's able to access her abilities and feelings and all this kind of stuff, and stuff that she can do in other universes that exist all over the planet, universe, everywhere, multiverse. That's how it goes, like I said. And yeah, it's a pretty wild film. In terms of A24 films, like, they're always out there. So when you go to an A24 film, you have to be able to digest some like really dense content. And let's get into the positives right away. Is that this one is quite an enjoyable ride. It's fun from beginning to end. I think this is probably the most fun and most digestible A24 film I've seen in terms of like being acceptable for multiple audience members, because there's a lot of A24 films out there that I wouldn't recommend to everybody to watch. Like, I love them, but I wouldn't recommend them for everybody to watch because I know it's for a very specific type of people. This is easily the most acceptable and most digestible of the films. And Michelle Yeoh, another positive, she does an amazing job. Like, I don't think I've ever seen her in a role where she doesn't really bring it. She's great in, her James Bond role. She's great in like a lot of old school fight films that she did back in the day. Of course, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and then, Shang-Chi. So like, she shows up in a lot of films, and when she does, she always brings it and does a fabulous job. But I think this film, she really gets the ability and capabilities and is able to show off what she really can do, you know what I mean? Just because of the content and what is in this film and what they're asking her to do, she's able to show off a lot of her skills in one film. So especially if you've never seen her before, this would be the perfect film to watch to really understand, like, oh, this is how she is an actress. Let's dive into her other filmography. Also, another positive is you can tell the Daniels, they definitely have a stamp and are unique to their films. I haven't seen their film Swiss Army Man. I haven't seen that film, but I've heard very good things. But you can tell, like, they have a certain style with their movies, and they took a lot of homages and ambiance from a lot of other stuff. Like, when I watched this film, one major thing I could think of is Rick and Morty. There's, like, heavy Rick and Morty vibes in this movie, and also The Matrix. Those are like two things that you can tell that the Daniels took a lot of homage and a lot of ideas from, and they used that to really build their universe in this film. And like, I know Rick and Morty, that's like a TV show, but the whole multiverse concept and the multiple selves thing, a lot of that plays into aspect in this film. So you can tell that they love that kind of, material. And also the humor in here is kind of, it's like, almost like that obscure kind of childish humor, dirty humor, but it works. It's kind of like, silly, like it shouldn't work, but it works for this film and the style they're going. Also, fabulous side characters, like Jamie Lee Curtis is in this film playing an amazing side character in this movie, and I think she did an amazing job. Probably one of the most unique roles that I've ever seen Jamie Lee Curtis in, for sure. Another good thing about this film is the fight choreography. I think all the fight scenes and the fight choreography, it's more of that old school Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Jackie Chan type style where you can actually see what's going on, long takes, and seeing everybody move and the movements. No fast, quick cut editing or nothing like that. It's very much, stylistic, and you can tell and watch and see how everybody knows what they're doing in terms of the stuntman. And Michelle Yeoh, you can tell she knows what she's doing as well. So I think they did a fabulous job. Even her husband, which is the kid from the Goonies and I think was it the Temple of Doom, which is pretty crazy because he took a very, very long time off of acting and then came back to do this movie. And he's been doing some other, I think, small projects too, but this was a major one. And yeah, it came out pretty good. And I think he does a great job balancing with Michelle Yeoh. Like, they're two characters. They do such a great job bouncing off of each other in this film. And this is one movie, like I said, it goes balls to the wall. That's another positive, is that, like, it's not one of those films that plays it safe. It goes balls to the wall. It's not really considering about, like, oh, what are the audience masses are gonna think about us, you know what I mean? It's not worried about that. It's like, no, let's go with our story. This is what we want to tell. This is what's going on, and they're gonna take it all the way to the moon. And the Daniels, like, they don't care what you guys think. Like I said, they just want to put this out there, and I think it came out very, very well. But let's talk about the negatives, because there's a couple negatives with me. They might be just like kind of minor ones. Like, one was kind of like, I guess, yeah, like minor negatives. Like I said, they're not huge. One is the daughter character. I understand what her character was. There's a very strong family element in this film. I should have said that in my positives. That's a very good thing, is there's a very strong family element in this film. But I'm much more, like, in tune with the wife and the husband aspect of it. And then when we have the daughter, like, you could understand her side, and I know where she's coming from. But sometimes in the film, she just comes off as very, like, stubborn, or like freaking like snarky, and just like attitudey, and just self-righteous kind of thing. Like, she comes off just like this way about her and stuff. And I know that's to her character, especially when she comes into the third act for a certain reason. I don't want to spoil anything, but when you get to the third act, there's a certain reason why her character is like that. But there's a point to it where it just got kind of annoying. Another negative, but this one's very minor, is that towards the end it felt, I think this movie needed to be long. This movie is long. It's around 2 hours and 20 minutes, and it totally needed to be that long to feel this dense. My problem is probably mainly the pacing, as that the first two acts are really balls to the wall. Like, it's action. It's keeping you interested. You have to be quick. It's like I said, the Matrix vibes. Like, once you're on that journey with Neo and it keeps going and it keeps rolling, you're just learning things and learning things. And it's kind of like this in this film. For the first two acts, you're just rolling. And then we get to that third act, and it slows down heavily. It gets very much more exposition heavy. And I think it's just a little bit of a pacing problem. I think they could have tightened up that third act just a little bit. Like, that's all. But that's more of a minor problem. But like I said, still, this is a banger of a time. And like I said, in terms of A24 films, I think this is highly the most digestible and easily watchable, especially for the masses, because there's some out there like Midsummer and, like, Under the Skin are great A24 films. Some of those, like, but they're not the easily ones that I would recommend to just any mass person to watch, you know what I mean, any regular audience member. This one is definitely a fun time, and it has a good happy happy feeling to it and family feeling to it. So that's what I mean. It's more acceptable, and it has like all this wild stuff in it, like, for real. And it's just, I really like that. And I wouldn't say this is like family, like you can take your kids to it. I just mean the theme. It's very family heavy in the theme and stuff, because there's definitely some moments you can't let your kids watch. But thanks for sticking around with me all for this review of Everything Everywhere All at Once. And in my book 4 rating, this film's going to get a 9 out of 10. It's a banger, very intriguing and engaging and entertaining film that I had a blast with. So I highly recommend checking it out. Thanks for sticking around with me all. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay tuned to the channel. Have a safe and happy day. Peace out.